Greetings to you from wherever you're watching us. Thanks for joining us on the show tonight. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, it has happened. The opening ceremony, what was promised was delivered. It was colorful. It was unusual. It was different. We'll be talking about that all for you on the show tonight. We'll be talking about the Olympics, of course, the events that have started even before the opening ceremony. But true to the word of the organizers, they put up a spectacular show, and we're not surprised with some of the things we're seeing currently going on right there in Paris. We will also be looking at Team Nigeria, the activities of Team Nigeria, the events involving Team Nigeria athletes. Will also continue our post-mortem of the Super Falcons and their performance against Brazil. That's the outlook of the show. We urge you to sit back, relax, as we take you on the street. My colleague, Austin Kodakman, is suited and ready as we take you on this ride.
To you, Yemi, and of course, everyone joining us on the show tonight. Still an action-packed world of sport. Paris told us that they are going to give us a memorable opening ceremony, and they've done just that. What a story, and everyone will keep talking about it because this is unprecedented. They said they were going to show us the beauty of the city of Paris. They said they're going to display the French culture. They would do what no one has done before. And did they do it? Oh, yes, they did. They've added color. They've spiced up the opening ceremony. Now we can boldly say, let the games begin.
All right. So that's it. Let the games begin. All right. Let me quickly introduce our guest in the Lagos studio. Okwemi Akiode joins us now. Okwemi, greetings to you. It has started in earnest. Thanks for joining us. First, let me get your thoughts about the opening ceremony. They said they were going to do it, and they did it.
Yes, I mean, amazing time. It's a beautiful time to be alive. And I've always said it, the Olympics is the biggest sporting event ever known to mankind. And we're talking about over 30 sports. We're talking about about 10,500 athletes from all over the world, of course, including the refugee athletes. I mean, it's a big show. And Paris had actually set the marker. They've done it differently. This is the first time in the history of the Olympics that the opening ceremony will be done outdoor. Over 300,000 fans, fun lovers, sponsors, journalists, athletes, everybody saw the display of grandeur, the display of passion, the display of splendor. If you know what the city of Paris represents, if you watch maybe the Paris Open, for instance, or you watch maybe the Monaco Grand Prix, for instance, then you understand what the city is about. And that they show the entire world that, hey, it is going to be the first of its kind. Look at the way all of the athletes from across all of the countries came in. There were cameras everywhere attached to each of the boats that came there so that the fans can have a first-hand experience. Everything was perfect. And more importantly for me is the fact that the conversation will be different. In 4 years' time, it's going to be in Los Angeles in the United States. In 8 years' time, it's going to be in Brisbane, Australia. So we are waiting, Yemi. What would Los Angeles give us? The standard is what France has set. What will Brisbane, Australia give us in the next 8 years?
All right.
That exactly is what we're waiting. But for now, France promised, Paris had delivered. And truly, just like Austin Okonakpa said, even though the game has begun in the game for football, but properly, let the Paris 2024 Olympic Games begin.
All right, let it begin. All right, I'm going to take a breather as we enter into that segment where all we do is to talk about the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. All right, for the first time in Olympic history, we have the opening ceremony taking place outside of the stadium for the first time. This is the first time it's ever been done. We have over 7,000 athletes representing, flying the colors of their country, parading themselves across the Seine River in boats, a lot of things done very, very colorful. were wondering how they were going to do it, and they kept a lot of those things secret. Some of those guys, the creative guys working on some of those things, they were kept in isolation. Most people didn't know. They just knew that, okay, it was going to be outside of the stadium. CN River would play a major, but nobody really knew how some of those things, and everyone was wild. I don't know if Austin shares that feeling, because we all eagerly anticipated what they were going to do, because we had no idea. We all knew it was going to be outside of the stadium, but we didn't know. But seeing boats move around, everything, the bright lights, the songs, the performances, everything just, it was glory, really.
I know, Yemi, and they did give us a sneak peek, you know. I was speaking to a French colleague who is based in Paris, and he said to me that, Austin, that's saying that see Paris and die, that they want to change it, that after this opening ceremony, you will see Paris and stay alive, you know, that they want to give us a colorful opening ceremony. And yes, they did. They said that, look, it's going to be by the river that no one has done before. We've seen it, you know. So for them, they wanted to change the narrative, flip it over, and remind us again that impossible is nothing, you know. And that's actually the forefront and the core of the Olympic spirit, you know, just to make people believe in themselves again, create.
I just want to see them. I'm on Zoom. I just want to go.
Sports, you know, get the world united.
I'm just on Zoom. Just have a meet. I'm going. I'm on camera.
Because if you take a look at the opening ceremony, almost everybody that is big with sports, presidents, heads of state.
10 minutes. I'm gone.
All over the world, they are right there in Paris.
What's the difference?
How can we use?
All right. We're going to have, like I said, we're going to have a robust conversation around all of the things we're doing. So Olymide Oyejeji joins us now. He needs little or no introduction, and is so greetings to you, Olymide. Thanks for finding time to be with us on the.
Good evening, everybody, and a wonderful time being here, watching everybody talking about the wonderful opening ceremony. Well, probably, it might be kind of just new to most people, but it's not really new to us. Probably as a member of the Athletes Commission of the Olympian Association. We heard about this. We knew this a year ago, that this is how it's going to be. I'm just kind of a little bit jealous that I'm not part of it. So I'm very happy, very excited to see the Nigerian flag flying, despite the fact of what is going on. But it's very exciting and very wonderful situation, atmosphere like in Paris.
All right, let me throw this in. You already have an idea of what I'm going to ask you. You've been part of the Olympics as an athlete. Now you're not going there as an athlete. You're going there as somebody representing a body, representing the interests of a body of athletes. Now, right there in Paris and watching all of these things, does it have a different feel, different from when you're competing? Now you're not competing. Can you explain to us what the difference is like?
Look, probably, he has a different feel, different vibe, especially this time around. In the Paris, where they're very creative. As you can see, they're very beautiful. Wonderful, a sonic opening ceremony on the water. We knew that, as I said. And also, this time around, there's going to be a place where an athlete, every athlete that win the medals, they're going to come every evening. They're going to, it's going to be like a walkway. They're going to come out there every night. And every medalist is going to come out there to walkway. They're going to present a medal to you over there as well. And also, it's going to be an atmosphere where the fans can also relate, which is probably a situation, which is also a situation where an athlete can also be marketable for others and engage with fans. So, when I was active there, we didn't have this opportunity. We only walk on the track. Even walking on the track, that means a lot. But right now, I feel really happy for the Olympians nowadays because everything keeps going well. And also, when you're talking about the Nigerian, the way we look at how we came out. Passion mix that was exciting. I must give a kudos to the ministry, permanent secretary, the minister, the NOC, or the people that put it together. Is completely director of it. Completely wonderful. I'm just happy to be a Nigerian at this part of time in Paris.
All right.
Okay. Olumide Oyedeji, good to have you on the show with us. And for this interview, I want to address you as the president of the Nigeria Olympians Association. Tell me, Olumide, what's the feeling? What's it like to be addressed as an Olympian?
Come on, Hussein. I mean, I know you also want to be addressed as an Olympian. That's why when we're talking, I mean, you're going to tell me you're an Olympian. You're an Olympian without no OLY. You know what OLY means? It takes you about 10,000 hours of practice for you to be an Olympian. That's everything everybody want to be in the world. I mean, look at Mbappe. Look at LeBron James. He has done everything in his life. I mean, look at Serena Williams. Look at Andrea Gassi. Look at Jokic. Look at all those guys. They've done everything. To be an Olympian, come on, that is the apex of every sport in the world. Because we're unique. I mean, just like Parmenides just quoted in the Bible, he said that the many were called, few were chosen. To be an Olympian, I beg you, no be my mail. At all, should get side. Okay, I get great, my brother. Don't be small thing, no. You won't call yourself Olympians as well. Am I right? I'll say, come on, answer the question.
Olumide, I talk sports, you know. I promote you guys. I show you guys love. So I think I like that calling, and I'm doing just fine with it. But let's talk about the essence of the Olympics, the Olympics movement, the Olympic spirit. You've been in Paris for about 2-3 days now. Has the Olympic spirit been in action?
Oh, definitely. But most people do kind of mix Olympics with a different thing. Yes, it's great to win medals. Everybody wants to win medals. But Olympism not only about winning medals. You know, right. Unity, togetherness, strong peace. And it means a lot. I mean, there's kind of just been a lot in Team Nigeria. Everything was kind of stress-free. They came out of the tell thing. They came from Sabrokane. They came out here. Everything was intact. You meet friends. You meet other people from other part of the world. And you make friends. And togetherness. That's truth. And that spirit of sportsmanship, that spirit of Olympism, is something that is about both the former athlete and the current athlete, because I'm not going to say former Olympian, because Olympian is Olympian for life. You also have to understand that the Olympians, actually, we want to call them, they are God's made, of sports. But that is because the Olympians, they're talking about the legion. You're talking about who actually owns the sport. Come on, just read it back from the Greeks, about where the Olympics actually started. So the spirit is high, everything is great. We just having fun.
I love it. I love that clarity that you put out there, because people think that now that countries have come together is just to compete for gold, silver, and bronze. No, the Olympic movement is beyond that, and I'm glad that we're using it to make this world a better place. Olumide Oyedeji, stay right there. Let's listen to the United Nations General Secretary. He's calling on countries to embrace the Olympic spirit.
We will have the athletes from the territories of all 206 national Olympic committees united together with the IOC refugee Olympic team, and in this way sending a very strong message for peace and unity in this world, as the athletes did already this week with a call for peace in the Olympic village.
In a moment like this, it's important to say that the first recorded in history real peace initiative was the Olympic truce. And so, in a moment in which the Olympic Games are going to start, it's time to remind the world of the importance of the Olympic truce, and to make the world understand that we must silence the guns. And so this is the moment in which my strong appeal is for countries to come together with the same spirit as athletes will be coming together during the Olympic Games in Paris.
That's right. We must silence the guns, and sports is one way that we can use to achieve that. You know, I was speaking to some people today, and they were trying to make me understand the power of sports and the Olympics. I said, look, without sports, this world is dead.
Absolutely, and I'm not sure there are, better people to have this conversation than the Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Guterres. You also heard the IOC, that's the International Olympic Committee, President Thomas Bach, talking about the essence of the Olympics. If you look at the logo of the Olympics, the rings, everything coming together means that humanity first. Yes, there could be reasons for political disagreement, cultural clashes here and there, but the most important thing is that everybody needs to come together. If you look at the athletes' village in the Olympics, for instance, there's no line, there's nothing separating, oh, this one is a refugee Olympian, this one is a this. Look at the way the Ukrainian Olympian, team were welcomed to the games. It shows that the essence of it all is that everybody must come together. Sports, as it stands, is a unifying factor. We've established fact. I mean, you go to viewing centers, local viewing centers in Nigeria here, and then you see people, irrespective of their tribe, irrespective of their religion, irrespective of their social status, everybody comes together. Your club scores, you jubilate, you do a high five with people you don't even know where they're coming from. That is the essence of sport. And that's exactly what the Olympics, I mean, I was telling you how long I was into the opening ceremony. I almost lost track of the time that we had to be in the studio. It wasn't a showpiece. It was Paris telling the world that we need to silence the guns. We need to bring unity together.
Since while we are at it, France, the host city, Paris, got a big test today. In the books of many, they responded well. Vandals targeted the rail system, and there was a clog in the system. As we speak, they're still trying to fix some of those things. But it was a big test. In your book, how do you rate the response of France and the city of Paris to that sabotage? Attempted sabotage of someone.
I like the fact that everybody moved on as though it never happened. The attention of the people that pulled that off, their essence was to get the attention of the world, and the organizers absolutely ignored it while fixing that problem. It didn't disturb the opening ceremony. It didn't disturb all of the parade. It didn't disturb the show of splendor and grandeur that City of Paris gave to us this evening, that is going to live in the mind of the athletes forever. You heard what, Olympism talked about. See, it goes beyond just winning medals. Winning medals is almost like the icing on the cake. The fact that you're going to be referred to as an Olympian, they also talked about the fact that there's nothing like a former Olympian. Like they always say, once a soldier, always a soldier. Once you're an Olympian, you would always be an Olympian. I like the way the organizers dealt with it, trying to fix that problem. See, I'm sure they anticipated stuff like this. The city of Paris in the last 1 year had witnessed quite a lot of unrest, issues here and there, immigration issues. I'm sure they actually anticipated that. They fixed it. They are still fixing it. And maybe it's just a reality check that, hey, the games may have been properly planned, but what are the exigency plans that you have on standby? And trust this system. It is a system that is working. A system that was able to put that under control without causing major glitches, without affecting the opening ceremony. I'm sure they have all of that under control, Yemi.
All right. I'm sure they do. We need to go on a break in a few seconds. And a question on everybody's lips is saying police uniform everywhere. There's also private security. So is the Olympics over-policed? It's a question that a lot of people will want to answer. I can see Okwemi already smiling. I'm very sure Austin has a response too. So we'll go for a break. When we return, we'll talk about that. And of course, we'll talk about Team Nigeria, the events our athletes will be involved in. We'll do all of that when we return from this break. Welcome back. We're having interesting conversations around the Olympics. And before we came on camera also, we're talking about a lot of things. All right, Austin, I want to pass the baton, but a lot of people have been asking the questions, so I'll let you answer. Do you think this event has been over-policed? I mean, we're talking about for this event alone, 45,000 policemen, not to talk about private security in Marseille, in Paris, in all of the places where the events, huge police presence, huge investment in security. And so it begs the question, do you think this event has been over-policed?
No, I mean, it can never be. You know, security is a major consideration whenever you're hosting a global event. And look, time and time again, we've said it with sporting events that are global. You just have detractors and persons who just want to use it to, you know, get themselves out there. So no, it can never be over-policed. I remember covering the Rio 2016 Olympics, and right there, Brazil started a campaign for young persons to join the police. Even people who were coming into the country, they were even asking if they can volunteer to be part of the security, because nothing beats community policing. So no, Paris has come under a lot of threats. People have sent messages that they will cause this problem, cause that problem. So they just need to show that, look, we've got this sorted. We have everything under our watch. I'm not saying things might not go wrong, but just as what you said about the train incident, they just find a way that they will bounce back. So you'll be shocked that they'll put more to the number that I was seeing for policing. And it's just to make people feel safe. You are attending a global event where people from different parts of the world, you know, converge. So all sorts of persons are there. So they must be sure that security is top-notch. Let's go back to Olumide Oyedeji before we let him go. Olumide, you are right there in Paris. Do you feel safe? Do you like what you see?
Yeah, absolutely. Like everybody, like what you just said and what you just said as well. But talking about the police everywhere, you have to understand they're playing in the different venues, the different environments, and everything just have to be just. They've been really talking about it, like you mentioned. Excuse me, about the security. You have to understand, I mean, they call them a few numbers, even including the athletes, they call them some numbers that give it to country, like the relay team call them from 6 to 5. So they call them a few teams that get visas or very security conscious. So I think it's for the safety of everybody, for the safety of the country. And with the situation what's going on in the country, I don't have to go to political one, but I think it's really good for the athletes. And it's something that despite the fact there's a lot of police everywhere, but it makes you to be feel secure. I mean, there's a lot of roads that have been blocked. There is only athletes and accredited cars or people that can go by, even including the city, have been shut down. Not every car can come to the city of Paris at this point right now. You have to get a permit before you come. They've been really working on the security, and it really works a lot for the athletes and for the game.
Before we let you go, Team Nigeria, Olumide, how optimistic are you? Are you part of those who are saying we can win 11 medals and smash the record of Atlanta 1996?
I mean, I kind of believe a journey of 1,000 might start with a step. So we probably have to just start, progress, and we have to make sure we get to the second round to quarterfinals, semifinals, final, get a medal table. With a couple of talented athletes that we have right now, I'm very optimistic. Looking at the athletes, looking at the athletics, judo, looking at, athletics, judo, weightlifting, wrestling. Basketball, we can also get one or two things also done as well. So you kind of just be in a situation where I think we have a good chance at least to win something, to go something. Toby is on right now. ACF Bruben is on. You're talking about Asher Favor. Look at all those guys that are doing really well in the U.S. They just came off the season, and I'm very optimistic that my life is going to go with something at the end.
Don't dribble me. We will win 11 medals.
And I can tell you that we're going to try to win medals. How many medals we're going to win, I can't really tell you categorically, but I can tell you we're going to win medals. With the athlete that I'm looking at right now, we're going to go home with medals. With medals. I did not say medal. I said medals. That's why I say, you see I'm there.
Yeah.
Ozzy, Team Nigeria, as you know, the carry last.
Where we so I'll let you go get some rest. I'll see you in Paris on Monday.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening at home. All right, Ika and everyone. Great job. See you soon.
Yeah, so that's it. President Nigeria Olympians Association, Olumide Oyedeji, proud Olympian. He has said everything. I think that level of optimism should be maintained. That we believe our athletes can go out there, give us a good representation, and maybe, just maybe, we'll win medals.
Yeah, I also absolutely share in that level of optimism. I mean, whoever understands or follows, some of my spaces, you understand that I'm one of probably those very few people that even if it's looking right to my face like the defeat is clear, I would probably never ever bend on that. So I'm also really optimistic. I mean, Olumide talked about Isi Brume. She's in a good form. I mean, Tobi Amusan, world champion. She's been consistent, smart. The national qualification record, the All-African Games in Ghana. It looks like we have really good chance, to go forward. I mean, there's also Olajide Omotayo for the table tennis. There's Quadri Aruna, Team Nigeria. It's going to be tough for you to want to underrate these athletes. There's also the Tigress. That's the #1 basketball playing nation, female in Africa. There's also the Super Falcons. Yes, you may want to, drop your optimism. They lost their game against Brazil yesterday. They played the world champion Spain next. They also have Japan in their group. But we've seen countries miss the first game and they still get it done.
All right. I wish we could see Okwemi when Olumide said medals, but I won't reveal. I won't reveal if what he's thinking is the same with what he's saying, but I'll leave that. I'll let God be the judge. All right, I'll go across now and show Team Nigeria events for Saturday and Sunday. We'll talk about them. Okwemi has talked about a few of them. So I'll just quickly go across now. Table tennis, first port of call. That's what's going to happen tomorrow. Men's table tennis, round of 64. Two of Team Nigeria athletes, players will be in action. Olajide Omotayo will be up against an opponent from Iran. And of course, you have Quadri Aruna is going to be up against Edward Ionescu from Romania. All right, still talking Team Nigeria events. Let's go to Sunday now, which is where we're going to have one of our boxers. We had a chat with him yesterday. Olaitan Olaore is going to be up against an opponent from Kazakhstan, Aibek Orabe. The opponent is going to face Nigeria's women's football team. Will be facing the world champions, talking about Spain, on Sunday. Second match for them in Group C. Then you have in table tennis, Ofiong Edem will be up against an opponent from Brazil, also in the round of 64. So let's flip now. Talk about Monday. What's going to happen on Monday? All right, interesting times. Fatima Bello will be in action. Our opponent is from France. Nigeria's women basketball team will be in action against Australia. Then again, in the women's 60 kilogram, the preliminary round, you're going to have Cynthia Ogushemilore. She will be in action. We spoke with her as well. All right, let me quickly come to Okwemi and let your words match your inner thoughts this time. What do you think will happen with some of the things we've said? You will expect Aruna Quadri to Olajide Omotayo will go win. We're not talking about medals yet. We're talking about progression.
Just progression, yes.
So do you see us securing wins in all of the events between Saturday to Monday?
It's going to be a difficult call. I mean, some of those are round of 16 qualification spaces. There's Ofiongudom as well. There's also, just said, Aruna Quadri.
Yep.
There's the Tigress, the female basketball team. There's also the Super Falcons. They would need to have a redemption and give themselves any chance whatsoever of progressing to the next round in the female football events after losing their game, slim defeat rather, against Brazil yesterday. And then they probably face their litmus test, the biggest of tests for them in that group. Talking about Spain, the world champion at the moment, fantastic level of footballer. You look at the top 10 female footballers in the world right now, how many of them are actually from Spain? The Ballon d'Or winner is coming from Spain. You look at that balance, almost the composition of the Barcelona team are going to be against Super Falcons, but I have a feeling that they should be able to get the job done. So I can't exactly say, you know, we'll have all of those wins, but we also have Ogushe Miller in the 64 kg category. I think she's good, she's strong. Our qualification time was awesome. Our qualifying during the meet was good as well. She scaled all of our 3 lanes. Going forward, I think starting well is really essential for Team Nigeria so that we can keep the energy going. Imagine if the Super Falcons had won yesterday and then we come into the opening ceremony today, the kind of energy that will be in the Team Nigeria camp. We're not playing anything down. I think the team is good. 83 athletes coming out there, carrying the responsibility of over 200 million Nigerians. They know how important every single win, you hear me? Every single stages of these Olympics, every single glory moment they're able to get for themselves, it will definitely reflect in all of the Nigerians waiting for them and hoping that they'll continue to progress in these Olympics.
All right, so let me give the floor to Austin, but first let me say, apart from the women's basketball team and maybe the Super Falcons.
I mean, I don't like that face.
Well, I have to be real. Apart from maybe the Super Falcons and the women's basketball, I think the others will do well in their events. But those two, I'll have to wait. They're facing really tough opposition. But let me see if Austin agrees with some of the things that I've said. But for the others, Omotayo or Aruna Kodri, I expect them to Olaiton in the boxing, 92 kilogram category, off younger than. I expect progression, but those two events, basketball and football, is where my worries are.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, with our world of sports, a team is unbeaten until they get beaten. So now everybody is talking good things about the Spanish team, and yes, they have done so well as a country to develop their football, but we are forgetting that this is the same Super Falcons that went to the World Cup and nobody gave them a chance until they beat Australia, the host, a very decent team that had all the support, and the Super Falcons stunned them. That's football for you, where anything can happen. And that's why I'm saying, look, let's just wait. I think that record that Spain is having, that run that they're enjoying, is what might even be the distraction. And that's what might just motivate the Super Falcons. They had no business losing that game against Brazil. The worst that was expected to happen in that game was a draw if Nigeria wasn't going to win it. I'm sure now they have watched it. Coach Randy Wardrum has learned his lessons. You cannot be keeping your experienced player on the bench when you are chasing the game. Those kind of players, they're called moment players. You put in Asisa Oshoala, she can get one chance and give you a goal. Don't use us to experiment again. This is the Olympics. You know, our eyes are red. We want results, okay? So against Spain, I think they will come out and get the job done. Let football give us the winner. But who wants to win? It has to be Nigeria because they lost their first game with the Tigress. I've said it time and time again. If there's any team in the world that shows fighting spirit, that carries the Niger spirit wherever they go, it is the Tigress. So whenever those girls are playing, everything in me is calm, is at peace, I'm at rest. And this team is growing under Coach Wakama. She has kept almost 90% of the girls that she has worked with. So that's good progression. That's consistency. That's team understanding. So there must be something in this for them. They need to prove a point. They need to show that they really want to compete. They've been hurting from when they missed out of the World Cup that they qualified. Now this is another big stage. Go out there and prove a point. I saw good signs in that friendly against Germany. They are combining so well. They are making little errors. I think they will bring that to fore, you know, when they get to the basketball court to play against Australia, who is also a very decent team. With my table tennis players, I've been doing a lot of research about their opponents, and I expect the 4 of them to advance. Not because I'm too confident or because I'm a Nigerian. I know the work that these table tennis players have put in. I speak to Segun Toriola every day, and I know what they've put in. Aaron Okwodri is such a motivation to Olajide Omotayo. And the way Olajide Omotayo approaches his game, you can tell that he is growing every day. Now, he's going against a very experienced table tennis player in Noshad Alamiyon. He's 32 years old, not so big on the rankings, but you can tell that he's got experience. But can Jide run him over? Easy peasy, yes. Aaron Okwodri is going against a 19-year-old Romanian, 19. You can tell that now at 19, this guy is already competing at the Olympics. So there is good experience in the back for him. Don't look at the age. So Aaron Okwodri cannot afford to be complacent. Beat him properly so that when your next opponent is looking at the highlights, your opponent is shaking. For the girls, no pressure on Edem Offiong and Fatima Bello. Edem Offiong has got good Olympic experience. This is her 5th Olympics. She can get the job done and move on. Fatima Bello has shown consistency. For almost 3 years, she was the national champion. She went to the Commonwealth Games, and now she's here at the Olympics. Progression. So let's see. Let's stay hopeful. With the boxers, I don't need to say much here, me. We spoke to Olaiton yesterday. The confidence was contagious. You listen to Cynthia. She said she wants to bring gold medal for Nigeria. Come on, Nigeria.
All right. All right. I must say your optimism is contagious as well. So, but all right, so let's move on. Let's talk a little about Ukraine and a country that the hopes and aspirations rest on their shoulders. They're competing, but they're also bothered with what is happening back home. The Russia-Ukraine war is still ongoing. So they're supporting their countries. They're fighting for their lives, even though they're competing in the sporting events. We're going to listen to some of the athletes representing Ukraine, what it means to them to be competing right there in Paris, and how they're feeling right now, knowing that a war is going on in their country. So some relatives they left might not be alive when they come back, and all that mixed feeling going into competition with all that on their minds.
Our families is there, our kids there, our friends there. But I know that each of us who represents Ukraine in the Ukrainian team right now, thinking about people who defend us, to our servicemen and women. I know that a lot of them, they support, they watch competition, and we dedicate our competitions, our medals, I hope in future to them, to people of Ukraine. And being here in Olympics right now, we show strength of Ukraine, we show freedom of Ukraine, and that we fight. We fight, and we will fight.
It's a dilemma. You're representing your country, but you're worried about what's going on. And I remarked while we were listening to the Ukrainian athlete that they're probably the lucky ones, because for the love of country, if they were not at the Olympics, they would probably volunteer to be part of the army. We saw that Alexander Usyk did that at some point. There are some popular sportsmen and women that have lost their lives. Some who went to the war front, not so lucky. And I really don't envy these athletes. It's a tough place to be mentally.
I mean, you could even see, the body language of, the Russian athletes that just finished talking. It's a tough place to be. The fact that you're fighting physically and then you're also fighting mentally. And for everyone that have participated in sport at different levels, you understand that for every sport, you need 100% concentration, no level of distraction whatsoever. But these are the athletes that are making things a bit difficult. But let me tell you the sweet part, Yemi. For every point they get, for every progression in these Olympics, for every medal they win, for every glory moment the Ukrainians athletes are, it is solely for the people at home. We saw what it meant for Ukraine to qualify for the just concluded European Championship when they had to go through the playoffs. We saw also when they lost the World Cup qualification via the playoffs. You saw how the soldiers, the men fighting, were sitting glued in front of the TV. Every goal scored, they were jubilating. This is like the only moment where they could afford to allow themselves to get distracted. And that, it takes us back to what the IOC president and the Secretary General of the United Nations said. Let all of the guns go silent. Let the world unite. It could be a tough call, Yemi. There are a lot of diplomatic issues that are going on in the world right now. Unfortunately, humans do politics, humans also do sports. So I hope that the Ukrainian athletes understand that every single thing they do right now, it is not just for them. It is for the Ukrainian people. It is for the soldiers. It is for those little kids that have been stuck in the bunkers for almost 2 years. It is those little kids that cannot afford to go out to play at the children's park. It is those little kids that have been attacked at the children's hospital in Kiev, in Donetsk, in every single part of Ukraine. So every single win for them. I think apart from everyone, the two different athletes that I'm really looking out to are the refugee Olympians and the Ukrainian Olympians. I want to see how they will be able to put all of those things together apart from their distractions and get the job done, Yemi.
All right, so it's a tough place to be. All right, let me allow us to take the parting shot. I mean, talking about Ukraine, all the best to the Ukrainians, but a tough place to be.
It is, you know, and look, they have a good opportunity to, you know, to bring some level of calm, assurance, you know, let people back home, you know, have a reason to celebrate. That's what Alexander Usyk has been doing with his boxing, you know. So whenever Ukrainian athletes have an opportunity to show that sports can be the difference, I think that they should take it. It's not easy, you know, because every now and then you're looking at your phone, you're searching for information, you're trying to know what's going on back home. It's a major distraction. So I do not envy them, but I believe with sport we can make this world a better place. And that's what the IOC and the United Nations are trying to do with presidents, heads of states, minister of sports, trying to let people understand that if sports get into the conversation, we can make a whole lot of difference. And we want to use this Olympics to pass a strong message to world leaders, you know, to silence the guns, you know, drop it, and let's see how we can use sports to empower people and make this world a better place. So yeah, congratulations to Ukraine for even having, you know, that mind to come out to compete despite everything that is happening. I would have loved to see Russia, but it's unfortunate that the sanction is hitting them bad. I join Okwayemi to say yes, what the Olympics, the International Olympic Committee are doing with the refugee team is also heartwarming and it's encouraging. So that's a good place to leave it. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, the games have begun. So all the best to Team Nigeria. It's a wrap here in Lagos as well. Before we go, I want to thank Okwayemi Akiode for his time on the show.
Thank you very much. And of course, we have the whole weekend to enjoy ourselves.
Yes, we have the whole weekend to enjoy ourselves. But let's start it off with tonight. We'll leave you with highlights of events from this year's Paris Olympics. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you next week. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.